but I don't know if it's bright enough for broad daylight, so I'm sure people will work it out quickly. I might look at that one as well, but my primary interest with the new Vortex stuff is the 3 to 15 by 42 and the UH1, the holographic side. What I'll do, I don't think Vortex has the right magnifier for it. I'll see if I can find a magnifier that's a larger diameter somewhere and try to use it with a UH1. Maybe I'll use that to convince Vortex to make a nice magnifier for it. The other interesting conversation I've had with Vortex. So I'm a big fan of their Razer HD LH hunting scopes. I like them a lot. I'm a little biased, like I said, I had something to do with the reticle. But they're nice scopes. They hold up well. Optics are nice. I've been beating them up for a year. They work great. I've been trying to convince them to put a little dab of photoluminescent paint onto that dot, so you can sort of charge it with a flashlight, like with something else, like Bushnell used to do on their Firefly reticle, and see if you could give it just a little bit more visibility during the night. It's not bad as is, but a little bit more wouldn't hurt. But I'm not sure I'd be too excited about trying to add illumination to these 1-inch scopes. If they decide to make 30mm version for it, which I also asked for, illumination wouldn't hurt. Ultimately, if they take their 3 to 15 by 42, if they add photoluminescent paint to the 1.5 to 8 by 32 and a 2 to 10, I'd be happy with the 3 to 15. I should consider, giving it a mill turret, popping it in a 30mm tube, and it can give them an instant competitor to the new Leupold VX6 HD. But that's Vortex. Now they've got a Diamondback Tactical, which is kind of a budget line with a simple whole ranging reticle. I'm sure it'll do fine for them. I didn't spend too much time on it. Sure it'll work well, excuse me. I'm waiting for a phone call that is not happening for some reason. Alright, since I mentioned Leupold, Leupold didn't have too many new things. I took some pictures, I'll post them up. With Leupold, so they've got the new VX6 HD. That's a 3 to 18 by 44 scope with better optics, and this kind of a turret that locks at 0 and gives you 2 turns, and there is a turn indicator. Second focal plane, the reticle looks a little bit like a Horus style reticle, and there is also a level indicator. Different system than what SIG uses. So if you turn on the level indicator, the center illuminated portion of the reticle, when you are not level, it blinks a little bit. Kind of mixed on this. I don't like things blinking at me for no good reason, but it's nice to have an indicator for leveling the reticle. You can't turn this thing off, right? It doesn't have to be on. So that will be the scope I really want to look at. Maybe put it up against the SIG and the Razer HDLH, but optics look clean, the turret look good, windage and elevation turrets lock if you don't want to use them. You want to use the reticle. That scope had a lot to recommend itself. They have a new VX3i with a tall turret, front focal plane and second focal plane version, sort of an introductory tactical scope. I like the idea of an introductory scope, but I did not like that turret. It sticks. It's very tall. It looks weird. Feels okay. I don't know. They said they ran focus groups, had a bunch of ranges, and that's what people wanted. Well, I guess the truth is in the pudding. I don't think they'll sell a whole lot of these personally. I wouldn't buy it, not the way it is right now. But maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. So Mark IV is discontinued. Mark VI doesn't have any changes. Mark 8, 3.5 to 26 by 56. Now there is a version without illumination, and check this out. So without illumination, this scope is $1,600 less. So without illumination, it's like a $2,600 scope. It's a nice scope, nice optics. For $2,600, it's not bad, but the $1,600 for illumination makes no sense to me. And The loophole guys claim that it's harder to do illumination on front focal plane scopes. I get that. I totally agree with it. Except everybody else is doing it, and it doesn't cost extra $1,600. But anyhow, it's their company. They can do it whichever way they feel like. I think there is a different reason for it, but I'm not gonna get into that. And let's see, what else was it with loophole? Need to look at the pictures. Maybe it will remind me. They decided to make a carbon fiber tripod, and the tripod was of interest to me. I don't know how sturdy it is. It's kind of a slim-looking thingy, but it's carbon fiber. It's very light, and the mounting system on a rifle is magnetic. So there is a little base you put on, like where you would normally have a sling swivel stud, and there's a magnet on a tripod, and you just pump it up and you use it. So you can't. I'll need to test it. It looks like I don't think you can lean against it and do something. You can't really load it, probably. But for a lot of different applications where I don't want a bipod hanging on my rifle, like the rifle. One of my favorite rifles is I have a comparatively lightweight 6.5 Grendel AR-15. There are situations where it would be nice to pop it on a bipod, but I don't want it permanently attached, and I don't need much of it. I just need a little support occasionally. And for application like that, it would be really cool because it's a carbon fiber bipod that weighs nothing. You shove it in your pocket, you forget it's there. But if you need it, you need it. So I'm curious, and I'm gonna look at that thing and see how stable it really is. I don't think it's cheap. It's probably MSRP like $300, just because it's loophole and it's carbon fiber. But once again, using a magnet to have this kind of a light-duty bipod attachment is a clever idea. I did think I probably wouldn't have thought of it. So I like things that I wouldn't have thought of, so I'm gonna test it. Okay. All right. What else? Sling, special operations combat sling. Every sling says special operations, so kick somebody's ass something. What attracted my eye is that it's a 2-inch wide sling, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll get one to play with, something like that. We'll see. Alright, let's see, I'll get to this later. Let's talk about optics a little more, and then I'll talk about one gun that really impressed me. Primary arms. I've never really had much interaction with the primary arms guys, but they were nice and friendly. They're small and agile. They have their line of scopes. They sort of mostly go direct. Some stores can sell them, but online I think they just go direct. Historically, they had mostly Chinese scopes that they supported pretty well, that were decent. They've diversified, right? So now they have the 2 Platinum series scopes. Where are they? They're here somewhere. These are made by Light Optics Works, and then yes, seriously nice scopes. There is 2, if I ever find them. Why can't I find them? Well, my parents are intelligent people. Why am I retarded? Can somebody explain this to me? But anyhow, all right. So they are called Primary Arms Platinum scopes. I'll talk while I'm looking for them. There are 2 models. There is the 1 to 8 by 24, and there is a 6 to 30 by 56. No, there we go. See, I'm not totally retarded. I even got the scopes right. So the 6 to 30 by 56 is probably the same basic design as the carbon unification Athlon, as the Bushnell. So it's the same. It pops up and down, has a 0 stop and 10 mils per revolution. Primary Arms has the interesting reticles, but very convoluted abbreviated names. I'll let you look them up. They're kind of cool. I like some features in it. Don't particularly like some others, but I see the reasoning behind the reticle. They're intelligently designed. The 1 to 8 by 24 has 2 reticles. They patented the ACSS, which is kind of a holdover Christmas tree style reticle for ARs mostly. and a reticle that combines a horseshoe with a milling vertical scale. That's more up my alley. I'm probably gonna get the 1 to 8 and look at it, compare it to the Trigicon and see how it does. Their Chinese scopes, so they put their reticles into some of the other designs that I've seen around. So I'm not. They have 1 to 6 by 24 and a 1 to 8 and 4.5 to 44. That one is front focal, the other one's a second focal plane. I'm kind of mixed on this because so these are basic designs that I've seen from other makers, so I know how the scope does. But the reticles that Primary Arms uses are their own, and they're interesting reticles. I kind of like them. So what I think I'm gonna do, so they have new models 2.5 10 by 50. If your other is 6 to 24 by 50 front focal plane, that's not a Chinese scope. So it's the same maker as the company that does the Helos and something else for Athlon. But all different reticles, which I like. What I found out, what I did not know before, I would have if I searched for it, didn't know that I need to search for it. Turns out that somehow Primary Arms got their reticle put into a couple of Trigicons. They have it in the 4 by 32, and what is of interest to me, they have it in a 1.5 to 16, or will shortly. And it's this little reticle, so it's got a horseshoe and aiming chevron, a couple holdover points. And that I'm curious about because the compact ACOGs, the 1.5 power and 2 power scopes, from Trigicon, what they have is usually a very, very simple reticle. And I like to have at least a couple of holdover points. So what I'll do with Primary Arms, I'll test the 1 to 8 because I can make a nice comparison to that and Trigicon and Burris and a few others. And I'll see if I can get my hands onto the 1.5 by 61.5 power compact ACOG with their reticle because I can see a couple of applications where it'll work really well for me. So that's interesting. And so they've got the red dot now with their patented reticle. It's all fine and dandy. They've got a new magnifier with a longer eye relief. That's also interesting. So a lot of interesting things. But on the red dot side, what attracted me, they've got new red dot. Looks kind of like an 8-point micro. I think it's the first one of these Chinese-made red dots that has a rotary dial to control reticle brightness. All the other ones have push buttons, and I'm sort of on the record, I really prefer the dial. It's just easier to grab, especially if it's cold or if you're busy or if you're in a rush or something. So I think in all other ways it's the same as others. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go through the exercise of trying to test it. But I'm glad they make it, and I might look at it if the opportunity presents itself. And let's see, that's mostly it for Primary Arms. But they were nice and pleasant, and they're over in Texas. Maybe I'll go visit them. They've got a few different magnifiers, including something they call long eye relief. So that will be another interesting thing to look at. Maybe I'll